All right, so in Unit 3, what we're going to look at is we're actually going to look at how we can change a picture for an image as it moves around the screen so that it looks like it's traveling in the direction that it is actually moving. So what I need you to do is I need you to go to my classroom website, go to Game and App Design Unit 5, go to this particular lesson, and I need you to download these 4 pictures. So I have car up, car down, car right, and car left. I need you to download those 4 pictures. You're then going to create a project. You can see here I called it Unit 5, Lesson 2, Change Picture. And what I need you to do is I need you to bring all 4 of those pictures in. So I need you to pause the video, download those pictures, bring those pictures into your program, and then unpause the video and we'll start moving forward together to actually bring this project to life. All right, so first thing we need to talk about is the fact that we will actually need 4 different pictures, and as a result, we'll need 5 textured 2D objects as we create this program. So we need 5 textured 2D objects because we have 4 different pictures here that we want in our game, and then we need this generic car to say, okay, when we want this car displayed to the screen, we need a generic car to tell it what to display to the screen. So essentially, car can be set to either of these 4 pictures. Doesn't matter, any of those 4 will work, but we need a generic car to hold the picture that is currently being shown. So what I need you to do is in your program, we're going to create all 5 of these textured 2D objects. We have a textured 2D object to hold the car left picture. So holds left picture. We need a textured 2D object to hold the right picture. We need a textured 2D object to hold the up picture. We need a textured 2D object to hold the down. And then from here, remember we need a textured 2D object called just car to hold the picture that is currently being displayed. And then what we want to do is we want to load in all of those pictures. So we're going to come down here to the load content section. I'm going to use car left. That's equal to this dot content dot load. We're loading in a textured 2D object, and it's called, and I have to look over here, capital C, lowercase ar, and then capital L, lowercase eft, dot png. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy and paste and use this piece of code multiple times. I'm going to copy it 5 different times. So I'm going to use it 5 times. This time it's going to be the picture to the right. This time I'm going to be the picture that is up. I'm going to be the picture that is down. And then car in general, you can set to whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it as car left, and then we'll kind of move forward from there. So I have all of my pictures loaded in, all 4 in general, and then the one with just whatever picture I chose to be loaded in to start, and then it'll change as the game changes. So from here, essentially we need to talk about how many rectangles we actually need to create this program, because really, we only need 1. We only have 1 picture being displayed to the screen at a time, not 5, but just 1. The picture that's currently being displayed. So what I do is I only create 1 rectangle because I only have 1 thing being displayed. So I have a rectangle object that I'm creating, and then I'm calling that car rect because it's going to hold the picture of the car currently being displayed and give it dimensions and a location. So now from here I can go down into initialize. I'm going to initialize that rectangle. Now, I initialize the rectangle the same way I generally would, but I need to know the dimensions of my car going left. So notice I have 4 different pictures of my car. And I've loaded this picture into Paint, and if I look at resizing that at the pixels, I can see that I have a width of 130 pixels and a height of 97 pixels. So When I add this into my program, I need to be very purposeful. I'm going to have my car rectangle. That is a new rectangle object with the location of 0, 0, a width of 130, and a height of 97 to start, because I started off with this left picture in my program. So I started off with the left picture, so I want to use the dimensions for the left picture. Now from here, before I add any movement, let's go down into draw and just test out and make sure our picture appears on the screen. So we need spritebatch.begin, spritebatch.end, and then we need to do spritebatch.draw. We want the car picture drawn to the screen with the car rectangle dimensions and location, and then color.white is fine. So assuming all of my code is correct, I should be able to run my program and see the car loaded on my screen. So you can see the car is there, he's in a location, he's good to go. Now from here, we want to be a little more purposeful with our programming. So something to think about is when we're going different directions, we're going to have different dimensions as well as a picture that needs to be shown and a movement that takes place. So we're going to use the WASD keys. If you think about when D is actually pressed on our keyboard, we want our picture to move to the right. So we've accounted for that using movement X++. Now, when we're moving to the right, there's our car. So we know that we have the dimensions of a width of 130, we can see that, a height of 97, and we know that we want to display the car right picture. So this is going to take a little bit more programming than it did before to just move it generically around the screen. So let's add in our gamepad. We have our gamepad state, or not gamepad, our keyboard, excuse me. We're going to use the keyboard here. Keyboard state object, calling that KB, is equal to keyboard.getState. We don't need any parameters sent in. And now we're saying, okay, if kb.is_key_keys.d. We're looking at the D key there. And if that is in fact equal to true, if that really is pressed down, then from here, what we can do is we can say, well, we have a couple things that we want to change. One thing that we want to change is we want the car picture to be set to car right. We can say, okay, car, the car image, that texture 2D object, will now be set to car right. I then know that my width of my rectangle, so my car rect.width, will need to be set to 130 pixels. My car rect.height will need to be set to 97 pixels. And I know that I want my car rect.x to change by 1. So I can use the car rect.x equals car rect.x plus 1, or I can just use plus plus. So now what should happen when I press start? If I press D, my picture now moves to the right. It switched pictures to move to the right, and its dimensions look proportional. So I'm going to stop here. You now have the template for the first car movement. So what I'd like you to do is think through, what would I need to do next? So if I were to copy and paste this code, and I now programmed it for W. So if the W key is being pressed, what should the car image be set to? What should the car width be set to? What should the car height be set to? And what changes should take place with the X and Y coordinate of the rectangle? So this is for you to figure out. Your task is to get that car to move around the screen using the WASD keys and have it change the picture and stay proportional as you move in different directions. So when it's moving down, it should look like it's moving down. When it's moving up, it should look like it's moving up. Same with right and same with left. So you should be able to move in any direction. That car should look proportional and then should also be moving in the correct direction and have the correct picture displayed. So best of luck. Let me know if you happen to get stuck.